That's my best friend. That's my best friend.
What's up, everybody? I'm Dave Mo Flips. You guys already know. So check it out. Let's get into this. You want to be a car dealer, right? Or a car flipper. You want to do something with cars. That's why you found this channel. This is why you found this video. So you watched auto auction rebuilds. He's having the time of his life. You watch Lucky's Wheels and Deals, whatever his channel's exact name is called. You watch Sam Crizzy. You watched me. You watched the Goon Squad. You watched Flying Wheels. You watched Watch JR Go. Of course, Vin Wiki and all those stories. Come on, that's a great channel. All those channels are great that I just mentioned. TK's Garage. Who's the other dude? Weird Beard Auto Sales, right? Bro, guys, let me tell you right now. You watched them all. You watched them all. Chances are, to be honest, you're probably already selling cars. 1, 10, 100, who knows? You're already selling cars, right? There's a huge transition from selling from your driveway to becoming a dealer rep to owning your own dealership. Huge. So let's start with number one. Let's start for the person who's like, hey, I want to buy this car and turn around and sell it. Chances are that's against the law. Now, you're going to hear people say, oh, well, you're allowed to buy 5 cars in this state, 10 in this state, 1 in that state. Here in Florida, I was told any car you buy with the purpose of making money on it, you need to have a dealer's license, all right? From what I understand, that's kind of the go-to with all the states. If you're buying a car with the intentions of selling it for profit, then you need a dealer's license. Now, they're going to say, well, how many cars can you sell in a year? 5. You can sell 5 cars. Yes. You can sell whatever your state allows you, but if you purposely went out to buy that car and flip it for profit, and again, I want you to do your own homework, but I do believe you need a dealer's license to do that. There's a big difference between me going out buying a car with the intentions of using it and realizing, hey, I don't like it, I don't fit in it, it doesn't drive correctly, whatever I want to come up with, and then I sell it. If I make money on the deal, great. If I don't, that's kind of sucks. But the intention was for me to use it. The intention was not for me to go and spend $1,000 on the car and list it the next day for $2,000. All right? So you want to find that out first. Now, number 2. If you're already doing that, and you're pretty good at it, right? Hey, I got this thing down. I'm on Facebook Marketplace. I'm on Craigslist. I can haggle down like I'm friggin' Bolian. I'm better than him. You know, great. I'm here to tell you, number 1, there's more money to be made as a curb stoner. So if you're selling cars without a dealer's license, you're considered a curb stoner, all right? There is more money to be made per car as a curb stoner, all right? I'm going to tell you how we come up to this number. Watch any YouTube video before they find out what they're doing is illegal. And they're going to show you, hey, I bought this car for $2,500 and I sold it for $5,000. They just made $2,500 in a week, right? I'm not saying that doesn't happen as a car dealer. What I'm saying is it doesn't happen that often. Yes, you can argue with me till you're blue in the face. Well, this guy on this channel says he does it all the time. I'm sure he does. I'm sure he's telling you that it happens every day at his lot. He's probably got financing. I want to say he's probably lying. And it's probably, he buy here, pay here deals, and he's calculating it all in when he gets all the money in, okay? I'm letting you know right now, as a car dealer, you have different levels. You have your cash guys. You have your buy here, pay here guys. And you have your financing guys. I don't say that in any order in terms of who makes the most or anything along those lines. Cash guys who buy cash cars like myself, we normally average about $1,000 a car. At the end of the year, you can look at all the cars we bought and all the cars we lost money on, all the cars we made money on, and out of all the cars we sold, our number, multiply that number by 1,000, and that's the number you should come up with. Buy here, pay here, guys. In my area, okay, they have an 80% successful payment rate. Well, 85%, all right? That means that 15% of the cars that they put on paper, they're repoing. That doesn't mean that they're losing the money, because to be honest with you, you ask most buy here, pay here guys, they're gonna tell you the money is made in repo. You wanna get that down payment, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, whatever your number is going to be. You wanna get that down. And you want them to make all their payments and be successful. But let's just say they make 6 payments at $300. You add that dollar amount, those 6 payments, right, whatever it is, or 6 months of payments, let's say that. Because usually buy here, pay here is going to be weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly. But let's just say they've made 6 months worth of payments. You add that number to the down payment, and chances are at least 5 of those 6 months of payments have been pure profit. Now, they activate their GPS. If they have starter interrupt, or even just GPS that every 6 months it triangulates where their most frequent stops are. It depends what you paid for, honestly. Look into different GPS units. The ones I've been looking at, they tell me where the most frequent stops are, how long they're at every location. Starter interrupt. There's usually 2 GPS units and maybe a decoy. There's, you can go on eBay and you can buy these little stickers that these little stickers say, Honda Motor Corporation, Toyota Motor Corporation. You can buy them with anything you want. I just use those, Chevrolet, GMC, and I mean it's so simple. You could put that sticker on your GPS tracking unit and put it in the car, and the person who, let's just say they find it, they don't want to pull it out because it looks stock. It looks a lot better than a LoJack symbol, all right? But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about money. I apologize. So with that being said, 85% of them, of the cars they have out, they're getting paid for it monthly, and they're fulfilling their obligation. The other 15%, they're going to put repos out or get them on their own. And then when they get them, they're going to redo them. We put them right back out there to buy here, pay here, or they're just going to sell them as a cash car and be done with it. Then you have your financing guys. Right now, in my opinion, the financing guy is the $7,000 to $15,000 price range, retail price range for a financing company, financing car lot is having a hard time right now, at least in my area. A lot of car dealers are going out of business that used to do that. Number one, a lot of floor plans got taken back. Number two, a lot of the Nissan, Toyota, Honda, Kia, a lot of these big franchise dealerships have decided, hey, you know what? We are going to start a 10,000 or less certified pre-owned type of car lot, because not a lot of people are buying new cars. If you've been watching videos and you're part of forums and groups and shit like that, you're noticing that a lot of car dealers are like, oh, I can't buy cars, or why are cars going for so much money, and all this other nonsense. The reason is, at an auction, at a dealer-only auction, most of those cars come from big dealerships. They're trade-ins. The ones that they don't want get sent down the pipeline to guys like us. Well, if they're not selling a lot of new cars and people are keeping their cars for a longer amount of time and buying another used car, they're not getting trade-ins. The trade-in value is not worth as much on a used car as it is on a new car. All right? There's not that much profit on it. So less cars going to dealer-only auctions increases the price of the cars at the auction. We all have to eat. A lot of dealers aren't able to switch up their flow. I'm a Gemini, number one, so I'll do anything. You feel me? Like, if you know me, like a Gemini, like, we just adapt to shit. So for me, it doesn't matter. Like, I'll flip the flow and keep it moving, I'll buy a $500 car as quick as I'll buy a $5,000 car, as long as there's money to be made. You see what I'm saying? Another thing to know, those financing guys, they're used to making $2,000, $25,000 a car. Do you think that they want to go back down to making $1,000 a car, they can't do it. There's too much work involved. You got to get the cars repaired, and you got to deal with a whole different type of clientele. It's really a pain in the ass to sell cash cars. But listen, this is what it is. Make your money how you make your money, okay? So anyways, you made your mind up. You want to be a car dealer. You want to be a car flipper. I suggest you figure out what your state law is if you're not going to do it with the license. Get a feel for it. And then as you make the transition to becoming a dealer for yourself or an authorized agent or a dealer rep for another company, just know that going into it, the auction is not better than the deals you've been finding on Craigslist and Facebook. They're not better. I could tell you right now you're going to make more money on Facebook and Craigslist. I'm saying that because I'm honest, all right? I'm not saying that because I don't want you to get your dealer's license. Don't take it like that. I want you to get your dealer's license. I don't want to see anyone get in trouble for anything, all right? What I'm saying to you is be prepared, okay? So you making $2,000 on a cash car every single time you flip a car, it's probably not going to happen. But here's what's going to happen. You might only be getting those cars once a week or once every 2 weeks or once every 3 weeks or once every 4 weeks, right? And the amount of work you're putting in, you're on your phone, you're dealing with other people trying to get there, then the people aren't responding to you, and then they're telling you, yeah, come by and get the car, and when you get there, they just sold it to their neighbor or some crazy fucking story, whatever it is, right? Or even you're ballsy enough to be like, hey, look, I'm gonna send you money through Cash App, $100 deposit right now, and they just make off with your money. The big difference is when you're going to the dealer-only auctions, you're able to buy cars every single friggin' day. Every single day there is an auction. Especially now with a lot of these online-only types of auctions. ACV, for instance, is the one I like. I know ACV has gotten a really bad reputation with a lot of other states. In Tampa, they show love. I don't know why it's like that. I have nothing bad to say. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes it's a headache, but hear me out for a second in terms of ACV. Because ACV is the easiest, especially for a newbie, to learn and to go with. I signed up a subscriber to the person that I rep for, and he bought a green light car. This all happened within the last 30 days, okay? It was a Maxima, okay? It's actually funny because both of these cars are Maximas. It's got a bad transmission. So the Maxima, typical for Maxima, it'll run and drive until the transmission gets hot, and then it starts to slip. So when they did the inspection on ACV, they didn't know that. They didn't catch it. They left it out. Those people that do the inspections get paid commission. So you could believe whatever you want to believe. It doesn't matter. The fact is it's got a bad transmission. He arbitrates it. It was green light. He arbitrates it. They come out, and I think he was into that particular vehicle for, let's say, $2,000, right? $2,100. ACV rep comes out. He looks at the car, and the guy says to him on our end, well, it's not going to slip now. You got to wait till it warms up. Go do something and come back. I'll let the car run. So the ACV rep goes, okay, I got to go up the road to look at another car. He goes up there. Our guy turns it on and leaves it on. The ACV rep comes back about a half hour later, drives it, comes back, and he goes, yep, I got to write it up. The transmission's slipping. Okay, great. ACV cuts the guy a check for $1,600, right? So the transmission was $700. To have it installed is probably going to be about $300 to $400, right? So let's just say it's $400. Let's go more than less. So he's looking at $1,100, right? But they just cut him a check for $1,600, so he just made $500. Subtract $500 from the $2,000 he spent on the car. When it's all said and done, he's into that car for $15,000 now. He bought it at $2,000 thinking it was a great deal. Now, because ACV cut him a check and he was able to do the transmission and what have you, he's in it for $15,000. It's an outstanding deal. You've already built $500 into it, all right? So that was one scenario. The second scenario, actually that was one example, sorry. Another example was same type of car. Beautiful, beautiful. White tan leather, 2007, again, Nissan Maxima. Green light, He pays $1,600 for the car. Now, just so you know, these numbers are not with fees. $1,600 for the car, and excuse me, and he goes, and we go to pick it up. Excuse me, and there's no coolant in it. So we put the coolant in it, and I notice that I hear water coming out. I'm like, it sounds like the car is pissing. When you go underneath there, you can tell there was a hose that wasn't connected, so it was just dripping out of the bottom. We get the car back to Tampa. We tow it back to Tampa. Leroy fixes the hose, no problem. You know, fills up the coolant, starts it. Turns out the car's got a bad head gasket. All right. Again, arbitrates it. ACV calls up ACV. Goes, hey guys, listen. Actually has a conversation with ACV. He's like, listen, I don't want to be that guy that constantly arbitrates stuff, but one was a transmission. This is an engine. They come out, they test the engine, blown head gasket. This particular vehicle, he was in it for $1,600. They end up cutting him a check for $1,500 on this particular vehicle. So, again, and this actually just happened today, believe it or not. So we ended up looking up the engine, and I think I was able to get the engine for $550, and I want to say he was able to get it put in, or could potentially get it put in for $400. So let's just say for $1,000, right? And again, he ends up with the car, you know, with $500. You subtract $500 from the $1,600 he paid. He's got this car for $1,100. But with ACV, you can't arbitrate twice. So he never drove it, and now he's still afraid because the last Maxima he had a transmission issue. Now he doesn't know if he does the motor work, will this one have a transmission issue? But he's really only in it with fees and everything for about $300. So I had said to him, at this point you have two options. One, junk the car, right? Well, three options. One, junk the car, crush it. They'll probably give you $400 for it. So you're still up money, or at least you're breaking even. And then the amount he would be up would only be like 20, 30, $100. Two, part it the fuck out. The leather interior was perfect. The headlights were perfect. The seats are perfect. The body panel, the car was beautiful. Part it out. It takes a long time, and you got to pay for storage to put it somewhere. It kind of sucks to do it. But again, a car is worth more money in parts than it is whole. Any car. I don't care what it is. All right, let me stop. Because you're going to have someone in the comments, well, you know, if you had Eleanor, it's worth $200,000 and you can't part. Yeah, okay, I get that. Modern cars, okay? Cars that we're talking about here. Worth more in parts than anything else. There's a guy next door to Leroy who only parts out cars. And this guy is making money hand over fist. I mean, he's shipping parts left and right like there's no tomorrow. Not the point of the story. The point of this story is, again, so this is where he is. So for a newbie, I would go with ACV. And you have, you know, your Mannheims and stuff like that. And that is really hardcore dealership. Because you're going to go there and you have to inspect these cars. Most of them are not green light. So they're as is, where is. The only thing you're going to arbitrate there is the title's messed up. So if the title comes in and it's rebuilt and they didn't announce that, you could fight that. If, let's just say the odometer does not work, they did not announce that, you can fight that. It's really the only two things that I know of that you can fight at Mannheim if they did not announce those two things in particular. They don't have to announce that it's got a motor knock. It's buyer beware. You have to go there and do your own homework on these things, all right? So again, if you're a newbie, be ready for that, okay? Dollar amount. Let's talk about that. Well, let's get into this. Green light, the light system. Green light usually means that the car is warranted for up to 7 days or 250 miles. Every auction is going to do it differently, but the majority, that's what it's going to be, okay? And they're going to say only over $500. So, you know, let's just say you need an alternator, you're going to have to eat that cost. So you blow a motor, that works, okay? A yellow light means, hey, pay attention, they're announcing something, there's an announcement. This is a green light car, but they're yellow lighting it because of the transmission. Well, that doesn't make sense, Dave, because if it's a green light, you just said motor and transmission. They're slick. Green light, yellow light. Look at what they're yellow lighting. Hey, the mileage is not correct. The title is branded. The transmission has a slip in it. Okay? They're doing something. Pay attention because you can't arbitrate because of that yellow light. If it's something different than what they announced, you can arbitrate it, okay? Blue light. Blue light has nothing to do with the car running. Usually it means you're going to get your title within 30 days, all right? And then you have red light. Well, red light means as is. If most cars you're going to see running through, it's a red light. It just means as is. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with the car. It doesn't mean anything other than it's a red light car. That's all that it means. No warranties. You buy it, you own it. Congratulations. Okay, so let's finish this up real quick with let's finish this part up. I should have really probably broken this video down, but I'm gonna give it to you. The blue light, 30 days. If you don't receive your title within 30 days, you can call the auction. They'll usually say that they have, from the time you call, 48 hours to produce the title for you. If they don't, you have an option of either negotiating the price or returning the car. Depending on what auction you're using will determine if you've spent money on the vehicle. For me personally, I don't like to sell cars. I don't like to do repairs on cars until I have the title in my hand. It's a lot easier just to say, yo, come and get this car and pay me for the transport than it's to say, hey, I need to buy that car back from you because I can't get the title if I sold it. Or to say, hey, I had the car painted, I did, a lot of body work. I want the money for the car plus the transportation, the transport, plus I want $1,000 that I spend on body work and paint and everything else. The seller can simply say, well, you shouldn't have done any of that other than having it transported. You shouldn't have done anything else because you didn't have the title yet. And they would be right. And you can argue and go back and forth. It's a lot easier to avoid the argument, okay? Again, that's for my newbies, all right? So, that being said, let's get into you as an individual. If you are a person who cannot afford to lose money, stay the fuck out of this game. It is not for you. Why do I say it like that? Because not everyone is going to be a win. That's the truth of the matter. You're curbstoning right now. You can go to someone's house and you can spend an hour with the owner while the car's running. You know it's going to be good. You can test drive that car for as much as you want. You know it's going to be good. At the auction, you do not have that luxury. You have as much time as you get there to test that vehicle, and that's all you have. All right? Now, most auctions don't even let you bring the OBD2 scanner with you anymore. So you don't even know what codes the car has anymore. All right? So it's a whole different game. You might be really good at inspecting cars when you have all the time in the world because you could drive them wherever you want. You might not. Put it like this. Go to your local supermarket. I want you to go there on a Saturday morning. Okay? Your most popular supermarket on a Saturday morning at 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay? I want you to drive in there. I want you to back your car into a spot. Now what I want you to do is drive your car in that parking lot. Only in the supermarket portion of the parking lot. Act like there's cones around and you can't leave because there's fences there. You're not going to get above second or third gear if you're lucky, number one. Number two, you have a bunch of people coming and going and all this. This is what it's like at the auction. You're not taking cars onto the road to test drive them. You're test driving them in a parking lot that you can't even go through all the gears. All right? Sure, you can let a car run and you can hang out there for 10, 20 minutes inside the car, enjoying their air conditioning or their heat, depending on where it is, and you could see the temperature gauge to see if it's going to overheat or not. Because again, auctions, it's a dog-eat-dog world. Let me tell you this right now. I've looked at cars that had motor knocks and they took out the O2 sensor so it makes noise and covers the motor knock. I've been at auctions where they've had motor knocks, took out the oil and put gear oil in it. It's a thicker oil, so it hides the motor knock a little bit. I've been to auctions where the cars have blown head gaskets and the dealer has actually put in used motor oil into the car. So the car looks like the oil in the car is used, but it's not a milkshake color. How do I know they did that? Well, I opened up the top of the oil cap, which they did not change, and it had milky residue on it. But when I pulled the dipstick, the oil was dirty, but not milkshake. That tells me that they had another car there at their lot. They changed the oil on that car, used that used oil, put it into this one with the bad head gasket, and put it in there. They also drained out a good majority of the coolant. So this way, as the car is running through, you're gonna be like, oh, it's got low coolant. That's why it's getting hot. Okay, because you're thinking, you know what I'm saying? You're thinking money. But meanwhile, what they're doing is they kept it low so a lot of it doesn't mix with the oil in that amount of time. All right? Another thing, you could drain all the coolant out and now it won't blow white smoke out of the tailpipe. I'm not telling you this, guys, to do it. Please do not do this. That's scumbag dealer shit. But it does happen. And these are the things that you are going to learn at the auction. And unfortunately, unless you get down... I want to say something. I don't want to come across... So, we all know I'm going to open up my own dealership, right? When I open up my own dealership, it is my goal to only have 6 reps with me. 6 individuals I trust like there's no one's... You know what I'm saying? Like, they'll come to my home. That type of trust. And I'm going to show them everything that I know. And we're going to move as a unit. We're going to move as a team. Unless you have someone that's willing to take you under their wing, per se, and teach you this stuff, you're going to learn on your own. And unfortunately, you're going to learn by losing money. All right? This game is not for the weak at heart. This game is for people that can play poker. This game is for people that can sit there and be like, yo, it doesn't matter. I spent that money thinking I wasn't going to get it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't spend your rent money or your mortgage money or your bill money. Don't spend your re-up money on something that you don't know for sure. Never buy a car unless you have the cash in your pocket. And when I say that, you know, of course, in the bank or whatever it is. You never buy a car thinking, well, I got this person coming tonight to buy this car, so I'll have the money. No, because that'll be the person that doesn't show up. Guys, again, this is for my newbies, okay? No, you're gonna go to the auction and time is money. If you can't afford a Jaguar, stop looking at Jaguars. All right? You want to look at a Jaguar? Go to fucking Doug Demaro, or whatever the fuck his name is, and look at the cars that he does. Look at them from the comfort of your house, not when you're out there working. Okay? I watched plenty of newbies go there and start looking at, oh my God, it's a Hellcat. Can you afford the Hellcat? Are you buying the Hellcat? No. Then why the fuck aren't you looking at this 2004 fucking Honda Accord? Because you can actually afford this car, and you should be seeing if it's good. You should be spending your time here. Because whether or not you're ready, the auction's going to start at 3 o'clock. It doesn't matter. The amount of time you're there, you want to look at as many cars as you possibly can that at least are $1,000 below what you want to spend and $3,000 above what you want to spend. Because at any given day, any car that's above could fall into your price range. What you don't want to do is hope for that $10,000 car to get sold for $3,000. It's not going to happen. It's very unlikely that it does happen, okay? Unless it's got a lot of shit wrong with it. So again, know it. You know, get the post-sale sheets. Look at what cars went for the week before. Look at your MMR. Don't live your life by MMR. Know your MMR so this way you know what cars are going for what. And better yet, fuck MMR, look on Craigslist. If you only have $5,000 to spend, right, or you want to buy cars at the $2,000 price range, what I would do is I would open up Craigslist and I would say, I would start my search at $3,500 to about $7,000. And I would look at all those cars and see how often they're coming up. Hey, this car keeps coming up quite a bit for $4,500. Let me write that down. Do they have those cars running tomorrow at the auction? Yes. Well, MMR says it's this much. All right, who cares? Go there, inspect it, see what it is, and you might end up with that car at a price that you can make money on. All right? This game is about doing your homework so much that you don't have to do your homework anymore. When you can go to the auction, you don't need to know what cars are going to sell for because you already know it. Like, you don't have to look it up anymore. Now you've done your due diligence. Now you're a force to be reckoned with. Because everyone else is going there trying to do their inspections. You don't even have to. You're going like, oh yeah, boom, 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 boom. You already know. You know. I'm not going to waste my time looking at that car. That car's shit. Like I'm not going to be able to afford that car. I've never seen that car go for this price range. And that works for everyone's price range, whatever you're into. Let me think here, what else? I think this video is kind of long enough at this point. I wish I could have segmented it a little bit better. I really wish I broke it down into, you know, a bunch of different videos, but I want to get this out there for you guys in one shot. And I think I will make more in-depth videos on what I'm talking about to really get into it. And Yeah, we'll do that. We'll do that. But I'm going to put this out there anyway. For those of you who watched the whole thing, I hope you've learned a lot. Oh, guys, the biggest thing: partnerships. Partnerships are very, very difficult. Okay, people very rarely do the same amount of work, and they want the same amount of money. All right. So keep that in mind. It's very difficult. You might have an investor who wants a certain amount of money back. You better know that they're probably going to want their money back win or lose. So you need to worry about that. For me to tell you, starting out, I would not be looking for investors. I would, if I needed the money, I would take a cash advance on my credit cards, take a personal loan through the bank, because this way you know what you're paying back regardless. And if you take a loss on a vehicle, so I was a partner with someone once, okay, and I put X amount of money out there, and I said, here's an account. We got X amount in this account. Every single time you buy a car, I want my money back plus 30%. Okay, calls me up and says, hey, the motor blew. I'm sorry for your luck. I didn't buy the car. You bought the car. What I'm buying is your expertise. That's how come this is set up, because you're supposed to be knowledgeable of what you're doing. So you took $2,000 and you bought a car with a blown motor. $2,000 plus my 30 means you owe me $2,600. Okay? I'm sorry to tell you. Give me my fucking money. It's just how it works. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care. Fuck you, pay me. That type of situation. You understand what I'm saying to you? Like, I don't care what happened, because you're supposed to be the professional. I don't take losses. You took the money, you're responsible for it, and I'll give it back. I invested into this particular car. If you take a cash advance from your credit cards or a personal loan, it's not per car. So if you did the same thing and you lost on that car, you still have the rest of the loan to make up the loss on that vehicle, plus pay your loan and your credit cards back. All right? And so, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it. And then not only that, like, I want my money back in a timely manner. And it's the guys, the people that come to you that act like they're your family or act like they're your friends. Like, oh yeah, I want to do this with you. Blah, 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 blah. Money will turn people against you. You know what I mean? Like Biggie said it best, keep your family and business completely separated. Like, money and blood don't mix. Like, don't do it. Don't do it. It turns, and don't sell cars to people you know. Don't do it. You're not selling fucking knives or whatever, or fucking Kirby vacuums where they tell you to call everyone you know and make your first sales like that. No, this isn't that deal. Don't do it. Guys, it's getting dark. I'm probably losing light. I don't know how it looks. I'm going to talk to you guys later. As always, take care of yourselves. Take care of your loved ones. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know if there's anything that you really want to know about. I will put it in the video, but before I put it in the video, I'll get back to you on a personal level and let you know where we're at. My email is demoflips@mail.com. You can look at it. It's in the About Me section. There'll be more videos about the dealership that hasn't gone anywhere. We're still in the process of getting it signed up and ready to go. If you live in the Tampa Bay area, you want to get down with the team, let me know. Like I said, we're only going to have 6 reps. That's all we're going to have. And to be honest with you, 3 of the spots have already been filled. Let me know. All right. It's your boy. I'm out of here.
That's my best friend.